It did the 1, 2 thing, right? Little county thing. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. So we're going to dig into the branching network stuff. I want to show you a couple of things first. Total spaces. This is very important. This is actually a very important thing. So Sarah's a fan, and we've been talking about it. So there's some nice upgrades in knowledge of how this thing works. So virtual desktops is an old idea from Unix, right? A long time ago. Yeah. Right. I mean, you're familiar with this. I mean, this is from way back into the, I don't know, before the web probably. But it's basically on your machine you'll have all these desktops that you can switch between, right? It's a really nice thing. And Windows never had this, and Mac never had this. Mac then became, shoveled Unix underneath the whole thing, which was good. And that's why we use them. So they're very purty. That was combined to all sorts of good happiness. Anyway, so this is the madness now, right? So you can bring out, this is a bit insane, but
Wait, what? No.
it's because it's on another screen.
Really?
Is that what it is?
That's really
That's super wrong. It's still pretty good, but preferences, right? No. Select display, yeah. Let's just do it. Yes, look at that madness. You need 25, you have 36. You have 36, so that's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Ah.
Wait.
No, what was I doing wrong? Yes. Yes, all right, so this is good. I don't know, it's because it's on the other machine. It didn't know they were all there, so when it's on an external thing, it had it. So this is, for a long time this is a horror, because you could have like arbitrarily many, basically, in Linux. And so you could only have 16 on the Mac. And I guess if you use spaces, right, you'll know it's sort of a last in, first out kind of thing, and it's just sort of this little, whatever you call that in computer science. But it's just sort of a line, right? You just drop, you've been on this space and then you go back to it. And the defaults are kind of weird. They're a little bit more maybe what you'd want on a smartphone. But 2D is great, right? It's a map. So now because we can add up to 96, which is super wrong, but fun, you can treat it much more like a world, right? So you have, and what I used to have on Linux was like, you just don't use some of them, right? Because they're like, these are the sea between continents. It's really enjoyable. And now and then you have to sort of like build, like, reoccupy take over some sea or whatever, fill in the bay, right? But then, the water comes back and takes it over. So I should, replace these with different things like dirt, fallow dirt or something like that, yeah. Anyway, this is teaching, right? So this is going to be over here, and it's got some more space to breathe. This is like some web things and whatever, and there's like, I have a mission thing over there and stuff, and these are papers and books. It's great. Anyway, this is not by default on Mac, right? It's total spaces too, so I'm totally advertising for some maniac I've never met. But it's really very enjoyable. And then once you've got this working, so you can just sort of flick between them, right, like that, and there's the big grid. You just run around. You're actually on a donut, right, because you make it pop from end to end. So we were just discussing possible other spaces that you could, I'm reminded of like the 96. I was thinking about De Lampedusa. This is the leopard. I don't know if anyone's read that. But there's a line in there about your house is not big enough. It should be a castle for a start. And it's about a prince. If you know how many rooms you have, that's not right. You need wings that you can rediscover and stuff like that. So. Anyway, this is a really great organizing thing, and it's great to have a map, and then in your brain you become very familiar. Like now I have to adjust to 36 or possibly 49, but right, you say I just sort of push them into the corner. It's very, very enjoyable, right? But the defaults are bad. The defaults are very weird. Like they want all the applications in the same desktop, which is really strange. It's a very odd thing, right? So if you're like editing something, you've got Emacs and a terminal and preview maybe for a paper, that's usually basic stuff you might have, then you want to repeat that in different places, but the default is to put all the Emacs here and all the previews here, and it's really odd, right? And if you open a new web browser, it'll just like send you back to the one you started in. which you still have.
Designer focus, like that's how like I feel like a graphic designer or like a web designer would work.
Oh, they go back to where you were?
Here and then we have their light studio, whatever.
I mean,
I feel like that's how.
I mean, it's like you'd set the table and all the spoons would be in one place and all the bowls would be in another place, and you'd be like, dig in, people. And you'd like try to take a bowl, or you get out of a new thing and it'd go straight over there, and you're like, not good. Really silly. Really silly, but it's a great organizing thing. I really recommend it. You do have to pay for that one if you have a Mac. I don't know if Windows ever got to having something like that. I shouldn't even mention the word. Anyway, so, but Linux, it's always been around. And it's just a really useful thing. Right? Anyway, good. Yeah, I really should. Yeah, I mean, there are many little things to recommend, like how to fold socks and stuff. But my mother told me that. Anyway, but we were discussing socks the other day. But this is really useful, and it gets, because it's Mac and they try to do it very, you see all the thumbnails, right? So it's, I guess there's a few other things I should show you. So you can, like see something. It has the expose stuff going on, which is, if you want that, you can switch between these things. You can grab one and move it around, which might not work because it's too big. But you can shuffle them if you need to. All right. Exciting. Generally, you don't want to look at this because it's just too big. Okay. Good? Good, yeah. But you're 96 and you can knock yourself out, anyway. But having too many, I think, is good. Okay, so I want to show. So that's just this is. I will try to send out lots of information through Twitter, of course, but lots of things of general interest, and I've upgraded this a little bit. So now they're on a magic rectangle, right? Which means computers and phones and things. As long as it's wide enough, you'll see 4 streams for the 4 courses. Like this is my pretend course that I made up. Linear algebra's over there, and so this is where we are now. And if you shrink this, if you're on a phone, it should just, it should be just that one, all right? Okay. These are really important upgrades, so. But it is nice, it's a nice thing, and like all this good stuff, right? So that's cool. Okay, good. I wanted to show this. I'm going to show you this. This is a couple minutes from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is a new Amazon thing. I haven't watched this. Has anyone watched this? Yeah? Okay, so. This is, I think, the 2nd episode. This is Tony Shalhoub, who played Monk, was also in Big Night, which is unbelievable. Let's see if trouble with the music.
Good morning, Professor Weissman.
That's important. Look at it, it's trying to speed up. So what's the music thing? Is it must be in, this is kind of unbelievable, right? So, I mean, if you ever watch any show that has physics in it, it's bananas, right? It's totally nuts. The gluons went through the time reversal thing, and you're like, fine. Tell us a story. Like, anything with, time travel is just bananas. The dark matter thing has opened up all sorts of nonsense. Sound, I'm clicking on this, right? Output. Oh. Why would that not work? Is it just like it's too quiet? I don't want to hurt anyone's ears. What is it?
There's a headphone jack in.
This thing? That is true. But it should go through the special Hukamasuka.
We've done it before.
Right, we've done it before. Yeah, magic has happened before. I know this is not vital for your. Tell me what it is. On this thing? Yeah, it went from. So I've got it on green now, and then there's master volume. Come on. Come on, son. If I can't get it, I'll just turn this on here. I know I'm messing around now, but it's upsetting me. Maybe the original one. Can you hear something? Because this is going to be such a weird volume thing. Okay, all right, let me try then. Why would that be messed up? Okay, let's try just out of the thing. Hopefully you can hear this. No. Yeah, that's my fault for... For some reason, spacebar does not pause it. What do you think we need to do?
If you click the fast forward again, maybe it'll undo it.
Oh yeah, that seems to be okay now. But this is just... Wow, it's so weird. Oh,
Professor Weissman.
strange. Okay. Okay, sorry. I think this is Columbia.
There it is. Study it. Now, this matrix is composed of two row vectors, v1 and v2, but the rank is only 1.
Okay, so I've got to say that he's just found out that his daughter, from what I understand, has split up with her husband, right? So that's like, he's very sad about this breakup in the family. That's what's going on. So that's the background.
Can anyone tell me why? No, 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 no. Truman?
Because once it's reduced to echelon form, there's only one independent vector.
Correct. Now, can anyone tell me the nullity of this matrix? No, 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 no. Truman?
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry. Do you have something to say?
You never call on me. You never call on anyone. You only ever call on Truman.
Truman knows the answers. Truman always knows the answers.
Yes, but we could know the answers.
Really? Did you?
No?
Did you know the answer?
No.
Did you know the answer?
No.
No. So, none of you knew the answer,
No.
but Truman.
But we could have known the answer. That's the point.
Could have. Could have. Charlie,
Lance.
could have doesn't count. Maybe doesn't count. I took a shot. Doesn't count. Because this room is a sanctuary from the variables in the outside world. In this room, we deal with absolutes. Period. In this room, this is what counts. These two vectors are collinear. They go together. And they will always go together. This is the solemn vow made by mathematics. In this room, V2 is never going to break that vow and decide that it doesn't need the other vector anymore and that it's going to run off and become linearly independent. V2 is never going to come home from work one day and tell V1, you know what? I think I need my own vector space. See ya. And then V1's dad has to come in and tell her, no, you can't let V2 do that. You got to go get V2 back. An impermanent solution because V1's dad is not going to be around forever. Solve all of V1's problems.
This is R.I.P.
Write that down.
Sorry, I know it's egregious, but it was pretty good. Like, you know, they're going to layer in some math and some physics or whatever it is, and they just, right? The linear algebra fence, this is rock solid. It's like, you know, he totally got it right. I don't know how many times he practiced drawing that thing and saying those words, but that was really good. Usually it's, right, just barking nonsense, you know? Anyway, sorry. That was great. Strogatz tweeted about it, and actually my wife was watching it. She said, is this, like, you know, I want you to watch this. Is this right? I'm like, yes. Yes, it is. All right. Totally egregious. Okay? Okay. Good.